Hi everybody, it's Brendan once again, and this time I'm going to do a movie review of Jackass the movie. And uh, I'm sure most of you have seen this movie if you're 17 or older. If you're a teenager, you've probably seen this movie. I've seen this movie 100 times. And this movie is really hilarious. It's awesome. And usually when I do movie reviews, I go through the storyline, but there isn't really there is no storyline in this movie. They're just a bunch of stunts put together into a movie. So I'm going to go through some of the stunts in the movie. The first one is the rent-a-car crash-up derby when Johnny Knoxville. Oh, I forgot to say, this film stars Johnny Knoxville, Bam Margera, Chris Pontius, Steve-O, my favorite cast member, Dave England, Ryan Dunn, rest in peace, Jason Weeman Acuna, I don't know how to pronounce that, Preston Lacey, and Erin McGee. And in the rent-a-car crash-up derby, Johnny Knoxville rents a car from this local car rental shop, and he says, "Oh, don't worry, I'll take good care of the car." When really he brings it to a car crash derby, and it gets completely messed up. It gets so damaged, and then they bring it back the next day after that crash car derby, and they're like, "This isn't our car." And he's like, "Oh, yes, it is. Yeah, it is. I rented it from you earlier." And during that car crash derby, he had two blow-up things of naked girls on there in the car. That's pretty funny. And then after he's done in the rental shop, he takes the two blow-up girls and he runs with them. And after he's done running to them, he yells, "F you!" to the car rental guy. That's hilarious. And then the next one is the muscle stimulator, where they get shocks in their on their cheeks, on their chests, on their gooches. The gooch, they explain it, the gooch is the part between your balls and butthole, and Dave England gets that in that area. That's funny. And also, Chris Pontius, he gets it on his crotch. Yeah. And in another scene, they're dressed. Johnny Knoxville is an old man. It's basically his character in Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa. If you've seen that movie, you know what I'm talking about. It's the same character, but he goes to the store and he stuffs a lot of things inside his clothes, and the employee is the employee at the store is like, "Hey, you're putting all of that shit in your clothes. I'd ought to arrest you right now." And Johnny Knoxville, as an old man, he's like, "That's all me. That's all me." And then he keeps he keeps stealing stuff. He has some sort of stealing disorder. And then after he's done stealing everything, he says, "I was Lon Chaney's lover." And the guy says, "Go back and love him." In the next scene, Dave England, they go to a hardware store where they sell toilets, and and Dave tries to take a crap in one of the toilets, and he craps his pants in the car before they get there. and there was this camera guy who had to sit there while he was crapping himself. While Dave was crapping himself, this camera guy had to sit in the car the whole time. And when he got out of the car, he vomited. And then later that day, it's the captions do say later that day, but I think they filmed it like a week after, and he's wearing the same clothes as before, and he takes a crap right in the hardware store in the toilet, and the guy's like, I hope you didn't take a shit in that son of a bitch. And after Dave leaves the store, he's like, the guy's like, what a Fruit Loop. That's pretty funny. And also, like, in some scenes in the movie, there's this camera guy who's shaving hair off people. Like, one he did Matt Hoffman, the other one he did Wee Man. And I think another one he did Johnny Knoxville. And there's also one and there's a stunt with Butterbean, the famous boxer Butterbean, and him and Johnny Knoxville are basically boxing in a department store. And Johnny Knoxville gets his ass handed to him. Yeah, he gets like a gash in his forehead and he gets a concussion. So basically he goes to the hospital and he gets stitches for it. And in another one, there's a stunt called Sweaty Fat Fucks, where Bam, what's his name? Bam Margera, Tony Hawk, and Matt Hoffman, they do these stunts in a skateboarding ring while wearing fat suits. Yeah. In another, in one clip, Bam says, since we don't have to bleep cuss words, I promise I will get my mom to say fuck by the end of this movie. And in one scene, the scene is called Bam's Mom Says Fuck. Bam gets his alligator and puts it in the living room of his parents' house. And his mom looks at it. At first, she's all quiet, and then she's like, all of a sudden, is it real? This alligator? That is the scariest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. That is hilarious. In one scene, Ryan Dunn, he gets his ass kicked by a girl. This wrestling champion, this female wrestling champion, basically fights Ryan Dunn, and he gets his ass kicked. Yeah. That scene was very funny. And also there's a scene where Steve-O, my favorite Jackass character, he is so funny. He snorts wasabi up his nose. And he throws up. He has this Steve-O has this really bad gag reflex. And whenever he does something really gross that goes into his body, he throws up. So yeah, he threw up the wasabi, basically. And in another scene, Johnny Knoxville gets paper cuts in between his fingers and in between his toes. And, basically that is what happens. And, there's this scene at the end where Ryan Dunn gets, he shoves a car up his butt. At first he puts it into a condom, and then he puts anal lube on it, on the condom, so it'll, like, go into his butt faster. And so he gets an x-ray. He fools the physician, the doctor. He fools him into thinking that Ryan was, at a party with some guys, and he passed out, and something's in his butt, and he wasn't able to walk right since. And he gets the x-ray, and it shows a car in his rectum. And the nurse, she's looking at it like this. And the physician is talking to this guy on the phone. He's, like, speaking Spanish or something. And he yells, he's like, Don Carlito juguete. Which means, it's a toy car. It's a little toy car. And he says, like, he was at a party and everyone passed out. They were having sex with each other and things like that. They were all drugged up last night. And when he talks to Ryan, he's like, that's not part of you. That's something extra. That's a car toy. And Ryan says, well, how did a car toy get in there? And the physician says, maybe you stuck it up your ass. And Ryan asks him, do you think I'll be able to poop it out? And he said, oh, no, you will not be able to poop it out. In fact, it will hurt you. I don't think it's even good for you that you poop it out. And the camera guy says, hey, what about if he takes X-Lax? Would that help? And the guy said, oh, if you take X-Lax, you get a lot of diarrhea, but no car. And he tells Ryan, like, don't tell anyone, don't tell your friend, your girlfriend, or your boyfriend, or whoever. You don't talk to anyone, alright? He already knows. That's too many people. Yeah. And in the end credits, it shows that shows Ryan. He pooped out the car, and it shows the aftermath. Like, yeah, it basically shows that. So that's pretty much it for Jackass the movie. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.